Heide Park stands in northern Germany at the site of an old zoo that was closed after a large storm in 1972. 6 years later, the park reopened as an amusement park. The park was purchased by Tussauds in 2002, and since 2007 it has been a Merlin-owned property after they bought the Tussauds company. The circular layout of this theme park is most notably home to Colossus at the back, once the steepest wooden roller coaster in the world, and the first ever prefabricated wooden roller coaster from Intamin. This was the start of a new era of roller coasters on wooden supports. After 15 years, the ride started to have track issues that now seem to also plague the similar Balder and El Toro roller coasters. The track eventually was completely replaced 3 years later to turn the ride into Colossus Kampf Der Giganten, or Battle of the Giants. Now the ride has new Intamin trains that are still excellent, combined with one of the smoothest rides that I've ever been on. It's an amazing ride, and I was actually surprised. I'd call it a bit underrated. Guten Morgen from Heide Park in Germany, where we're starting at the back of the park. We just got off Colossus. It's crazy. It's really good.
It's like ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
It's probably like in my top 5 wooden coasters.
It's incredible. It's so smooth. In the back, the pull over like every hill is incredible. The negatives are awesome. This ride is so underrated. Bradley, what'd you think?
Just a tad bit weaker than Balder, but I absolutely love Balder, so I'm actually shocked by this ride. You always hear like a bunch of negativity that the ride's just like, yeah, it's okay, it's smooth now, but it's like, no, this has a lead air time that people should travel for.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a top 5 woody, I think.
Yeah, loved it.
Oh yeah, I have to ride it more, but you know, it's still really good.
Hello, welcome in the Heide Park in Germany. My name is Lucas, aka Coaster Rider Cinematics. That is my favorite coaster here in Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Intamin. We go on to ride the Vekoma SLC Limit and the other classic Vekoma roller coaster, Big Loop. Both are standard versions of themselves, quite average but visually pleasing, especially Big Loop located along the water with its green and white colors. It's placed really nicely in the park where it is. I absolutely love how cohesive this park looks, with every ride carrying the same type of color scheme. Very natural, neutral looking colors. It looks professional, and I'd love to see more parks with coasters that match. It provides an excellent view from all around the central lagoon of the park, and it just looks classy. Flugder Demon, the small scale wing coaster. These smaller scale wing rides really are incredible. This ride has elements shaped in different ways from anything else, and the slow pace through each element gives awesome hang time and rides nothing like the larger ones. There are no sections of straight track apart from the excellent first air hill, so the flow of the ride is absolutely phenomenal. It's perfect for a wing coaster. This terrain fits very nicely, the outside seats are really smooth, and the theming of the ride is excellent. Through every single tunnel, there's like sound effects as you go through.
Yeah, like it literally like it hisses. It goes under the gift shop and there's spikes on the ground. So like it's like a floater hell and you're gonna get slammed into the spikes and it picks you up and it like hisses. I don't know. It's like crazy.
Yeah, the tiny wing coasters, the way to go. This thing was super fun.
I prefer the small wing coasters. The near misses and hang time are executed so much better than the American counterpart. Because in America, they have a mentality. Everything needs to be a record breaker and be bigger, and that makes it better.
Yeah.
False.
Oh, I totally agree with that. Krake, the smaller 6 across dive machine, is a short ride. The drop is good, but it's still a one-trick pony. That's really all it does. The splash is impressive, and at least it has an air hill and a turn at the end. Having the splash at the bottom of the first drop is an interesting change from other dive machines. No major complaints, but it's quite standard. It rides like you think it would.
element on it is better than every element on Valraven. They let us get so much airtime on that ride. Like we were flying on that thing.
It's a good ride. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, the ops on that were awesome. They like knew we were enthusiasts that we like traveled here, and they were like,
they
sit
said,
here, maximum
"You want
airtime?" And I'm like, okay. They just like set it up. It was great.
Next up was the bobsled by Mock Rides. It's another winner at this park. It really solidifies its coaster collection, really as one of the better coaster parks in Europe. I was very surprised. This bobsled is long, and it's got some really nice surroundings as you go along the track. Across the lagoon opposite of this is Desert Race, an Intamin Hydraulic Launch Coaster, an almost exact clone of Rita at Alton Towers. The layout isn't my personal favorite for this coaster type, but it's yet another ride in this park that really adds to its lineup. These are becoming more and more rare, and it's another coaster that is very good. Finishing off the main coaster lineup is a Mock powered coaster. These are always a good time, this one no exception. The park is also themed quite well. The entrance area is very nice. I think the food needs some work, but overall I think this is one of the best stops of the trip so far. Heide Park is filled with 30 rides and attractions, and they're all a great fit for the park. A rafting ride, log flume drop tower, and a Ghostbusters shooting dark ride are some of the other top rides. It's a park you can spend a whole day at and have a good time. There's also an on-site hotel just steps away. It's an excellent resort that I'd be very happy to visit again. Another dark ride and a replacement where the SLC is, and this park starts to compete with some of the top parks in the world. That's all for Heide. We're headed north into Denmark, where I'll meet back up with everyone at Bakken, the oldest theme park in the world. Thanks as always for watching, and until next time, see ya.